Hello and welcome to episode 68 of the True to Life podcast. I'm joined here with Brayden, a wrestler for the San Francisco State University's wrestling squad. Never had someone that is wrestling on the podcast, so I'm excited for that. A student athlete, he's a senior. He's his school's SAC president as well. So another conversation with another president. I talked to Hudson last night, who's also a president at his university, SAC. So great to talk to other student leaders. We're both here at the SALF conference in Dallas, Texas as well. So again, it's amazing we're able to connect. Like, you're meeting all these new people. So Brayden, what got you into wrestling? We'll start it there.
Well, I've been doing it for a while now, but I would say my dad wrestled in high school. So it's kind of anyone that wrestles is usually like, oh, their parents probably wrestled or they just got into it in middle school. But I started in second grade and just been doing it ever since.
Talk to me about like the competition aspect behind wrestling. Like what's the work that goes into it?
It's a lot of prep work. It's a lot of cutting weight, practicing while you're cutting weight and just trying to stay in shape. So like your practices are usually 2 hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're just like constant sweating just to stay low on our weights. But it's a tough sport, but it's always nice to have.
Would you say that's the hardest part about wrestling is the weight aspect of it? It's very dependent on like what class you're in. So it's like checking the scales like every day. Like what does that look like?
I would say the toughest battle is actually like your mental battles. You have to have a strong mentality walking into a wrestling room. Like talking to other athletes, I'm hearing their mentality going into their sports, and it's like a lot of them are happy to be there, but not realizing the little wins too from being a college athlete. So I think your mental battles that you're facing daily are just like, they really discipline you really fast. So it's like really cool to see growth through wrestlers.
Yeah, no doubt. So talk to me about the team aspect, because like you're competing as an individual when you're on the mat. So what's like the camaraderie between your team? Like is there still, you guys lift together? I'm guessing. Like what is it like from a team aspect? I know you're competing individually, but what is that part like?
So team aspect for wrestling is more like we lift together. Our practices are actually split. So we have light weights, which is our 125 pounders all the way through 157 practice first, and then heavyweights are 165 and up all the way to 285. And we're all just like, we split those practices, focus on like techniques for different positions, but the team aspect, even though we're like individual, we're an individual team, we compete individually, the team aspect is definitely still there. Like I would say like our team on campus is probably like the closest bonded team, because we go through all those hard practices, all those training together, and it's still like we still find time to all hang out after and still do other things together. So we probably have a really close team camaraderie.
Yeah, I think that's so important to do things outside of just the competition stuff. Like super important. What is your personal favorite part about being a wrestler?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say my favorite part is literally just seeing the growth of individuals. Like, not even a wrestling part, but it's more like SAC president part, I would say. Like, my favorite part from being at the school is seeing the growth of everyone. Like, the team growth, the individual growths, and just seeing how much development goes into these 4 years. And it's, like, crazy to see. But wrestling-wise, I would say all things that aren't the wrestling parts. So I'd probably say dodgeball. We usually have dodgeball for warm-ups, so I would probably say that.
That's fun. So for young people out there that are looking to get into wrestling, possibly, what would be your advice or words to them?
To all the young people, use the resources you have. Talk to your coaches. Don't be scared to reach out, and like don't take anything for granted, because like we see these 4 years go by so fast, and taking it for granted, you just look past it and you're like, oh, it's done, it's over. But when it's over, you're going to miss it. So enjoy every moment, no matter what the moment is.
That's great. What do you think is a common misconception that people have about wrestling? Because not every school has a wrestling program. So And most people don't know like really what it takes to compete at the college level or just whatever that's like. So what do you think is a common misconception that people have?
Oh, there's a lot of misconceptions about wrestling. Like a lot of people are thinking we're doing the WWE wrestling, and not knowing like the actual sport. So I would say, that's tough. I guess our uniforms, like
uniforms,
like people don't know what we're wearing or all that. Like we wear headgear, and I guess to know wrestling, you kind of just have to see it happen and experience it a little bit. But it's like it's so hard to explain wrestling without people knowing what wrestling is. Totally. So I guess the misconception is what is wrestling, and it's just like trying to explain how the point system works and no one knows what's going on. So it's always funny to hear and see, but there's a lot of misconceptions that could be answered, but it's just like it's
no doubt.
Do
you have like a 30-second recap of like just like what's the gist of how it's scored? If you have like a quick cliff
like
note
individually
version?
Or like
yeah, just like
team-wise?
what's an example? Like how would you win in a wrestling match?
Okay, so basic answer I could say is like you pin the dude,
Tap him out.
Not tap out. So that's like jujitsu and like sparring.
Right. See, look at that. See, misconception. I didn't even
we
know.
don't tap out. So when both shoulder blades are like flat to the mat, the angles, I think, once you break 90 degrees, so if I'm laying on my side and I break 90, they'll start counting. That's near fall. That gets you points for every second they count. Gets up to 4 points. But the main goal is literally win by points. So you can score points by takedown. You can score points by near fall. If the bottom guy gets out, he gets 1 point. Reverses 2. It's kind of confusing as a wrestler too.
Totally.
Before our point system was like takedowns 2, everything 2, and we'll have like shirts that say 2 and everything. And now it's like we just changed the rule to 3. So now it's like we're shooting baskets or something like basketball, and I'm like, no, we're getting a takedown. It's 3-2, but it's super weird seeing how the rules changed.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, anytime rule changes happen, try to adjust and learn and
Adjust our sails,
Adjust your sails. Yeah, talk about that SALF.
Yeah.
What I think is really cool about this is there's 250 student athletes here, right? And supposedly these roommate pick matchups were random. I'm having a hard time believing that because somehow they managed to match up 2 SAC presidents, both within 25 miles of each other. You at San Francisco State, me at Dominican University, just a short Golden Gate Bridge ride away, which is cool. Like when you mentioned that when I first walked in, I was like, what are the odds?
Yeah. Well, I know like San Francisco State basketball just played you guys the other week, and then literally I think yesterday women's basketball played you guys. So it's just like, that's cool. So weird. Like our schools are so close, but yet this is random.
Dude, no doubt. So I want to talk a little bit about SAC and being in leadership. Being a student athlete leader, not only are you doing all your wrestling, your schoolwork, you mentioned you're in graphic design, but you're also a leader on your campus. So you're organizing events, you're talking with admin, facilitating what they need. So talk to me about that balance and what the experience has been like for you.
Yeah, so I would say as a leader, as a senior, I like staying busy. I'm sure as a student athlete, we all like staying busy. So having my schedule just moving from one thing to the next and always having something to do, I think gets my mind right. So as I'm leading SAC, as I'm having all these meetings, it's just making sure now it's like making sure I have time for myself too, because we talk a lot about mental health and all those things that if you get too caught up in your schedule, you're not going to have enough time for yourself. So I think a big part of this is like learning how to actually have time for myself now.
No doubt. What is like the biggest issue or hurdle that faces like SF State from like a student engagement standpoint, or like as you as a student leader, like what are the problems that you guys are seeing?
Well, big answer would be funding. Like, we don't have funding for a lot of the stuff we want to do. So we do a lot of fundraisers through SAC. We'll have like BJ's, Canes, and our big one is the Giants fundraiser. So we just promote the baseball games and have we get $5 back for every ticket we sell. So that's our biggest one we have right now, but still, like, we don't have a lot of money. Like, as a program, as a SAC, we don't have a lot of money. So it's just like fundraising is a big one. And I would say student engagement, trying to get different departments coming to our games, or different students coming to our games. And even just our athletes going to each other's games has been hard. With like the new, so the only team with like 4 returners is the wrestling team. So everyone knows the wrestlers, and because we've been there for like a minute. All the other teams right now are facing the newcomers. I think softball has like 11, volleyball also has like 8 or something.
They've got to reintegrate.
New teams, new philosophies. So it's been hard to bring like our new communities to each other's games, which we're trying to grow, but I think that's definitely been the main 2 struggles.
Yeah, I would add on to that. I know Dominican, 2 small private schools specifically. I transferred from Holy Names in Oakland, was shut down, and funding, it's a big thing. And I would say a misconception that I had about state schools is that you guys have a lot of money. You guys have more money than us as private schools, because you would think that private schools with the tuition that we have extra money, but in reality we give a lot of money to financial aid, a lot of money for scholarships, that there's not as much as you might think. So that's something that I wouldn't have actually expected to hear when you're mentioning that.
Even I know, like, being a CSU, there's a lot of CSUs especially that are struggling financially. Going through this process of just saving our program and trying to up our funding for athletics, I got to see like, oh, okay, there's a lot of schools in California that are struggling, because a lot of people, or mainly North Cal, a lot of people want to go to SoCal for like the SDSU, or I'm trying to think,
CSU LA, there's San Bernardino, there's Dominguez Hills, which is kind of down there.
It becomes a weather question, like, oh, if the weather's nice, I want to go out there. Not saying San Francisco's weather's not nice, but it's, compared to San Diego and all the other places, you're like, okay, that's an easy decision. So yeah, it's definitely like seeing the struggles of other schools and how it's like most CSUs are like that. And it's crazy because CSUs literally could be like someone's dream school to attend. So it's crazy how much it's changed over the years too.
Dude, I think that in college landscape in general is changing. Like, I don't think that people coming out of high school right now are, I just think they're analyzing and they're picking new options now. So if you're not a student athlete, if you don't have like a set plan, like with going to college, I don't see that trend reversing for a while. I think there's a lot of uncertainty and job security coming out of college that I don't think college is offering the same guarantee as in previous, even 5, 10, 15 years ago. So it's requiring us to adjust our sails and pivot and start thinking about other ways to, find work, build a career.
Especially with like technology increasing too, and all the advancements with that. It's like, you really think about like all these things taking over, but in reality there's a lot of options. You just have to find the right path.
No doubt. I'm thinking, what is the talk on campus at SF State around artificial intelligence, job placement, just like state of the economy, state of the world that we're stepping into? Like, can you give me like a peek into what the word on the street is over there?
Well, I know, like, I'm not going to call anyone out, but I would say like team perspective, I know a lot of people are using it. Even like athlete perspective, a lot of people are using it, or just looking around, seeing people use it. Me personally, I don't like AI. It could be just because my major is graphic design and AI is taking over. Like, it's trying to take over, but if you ask AI to draw you something, it's not going to be as good as asking someone to draw it for you, or making a logo. It's going to be like, it takes images across the web and just combines it together pretty much. So there's still the struggles, but once they pass that, the question becomes, oh, is it going to take over your major? So I kind of just don't like AI at all. Not in support of using it for my essays because it sounds too smart for me. It's going to use bigger words instead of words I know and words I can communicate. So I think that part is advanced, but around campus you see the questions being asked all the time, like, do you support it or do you not support it? But I think it's always split right now. And I do see that both responses, like how it could be good or bad. But it depends on how it's used and who uses it and how they're using it.
Oh, wow, yeah, that is insightful. I appreciate your insight on that because I think that's how a lot of people are feeling right now. It's also this, it's like the next wave of what big tech is, you know, for lack of a better description, shoving down our throat. Like it's just growing up in middle school and high school, we were given Chromebooks, we were given some had iPads, we were just exposed, and just technology's just been pushed down to us as we were growing up. And I think this is just the next thing. And
I feel like even at the middle school age, we're just like, oh, technology is going to take over. That was our mentality walking into middle school. Like, oh, we can't wait till like the computers take over. But now that we're at the time where the computers are taking over, it's like, oh, we're scared. Like, we don't know what we're doing. We don't want it to take over. We want their normal jobs. We want to work hard for what we're earning and not have like computers do all the work. So I think the battle we're facing now is literally like, if you support it, why? And the why has to really be, is it testing your laziness, or is it testing like you just don't want to do work?
And I think that's what people fall into because it's easy. It gets them through paper. It gets them through the assignment. But it comes at a cost.
It does come at a cost.
You know, the bill will come due at some point. And I ask people that are using artificial intelligence. I personally, I am using it right now, and it has allowed me to pursue, be able to do a lot more work in terms of output. But everything you're saying is completely valid, and I hear those points too. And I've also come to realize how much more I value human connection, how much more I value just the conversations, putting away technology and being around people.
Yeah, exactly.
That I don't like where we're going from like a technology standpoint. Like, it doesn't really, excite me. Like I want to say like just like the utopia world of just screens everywhere. It's like, that's not real life. Like, we're getting like a tech utopia. Like, that doesn't sound as exciting to me as it did when I was younger. But unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to have much of a say in it, because it kind of just seems like that's where we're going. But I also think, especially in the United States being so big, there's places you can move to where there's not going to be that much tech. I think us living in the Bay Area,
California,
we're also just sitting up like in the United States, like this is like the AI center. So there's also that I don't think people in the Midwest are as concerned or thinking about how AI is.
Or they're not knowing about Waymo, and the Waymo's just driving around everywhere by themselves. It's kind of trippy.
But the data centers, that's where all that open land all over the U.S., like you're seeing all these massive tech companies investing billions of dollars in AI infrastructure to build out data centers, to build out plants for processing and energy production. That you're gonna look out and it's like, are you gonna be able to see? I mean, just look at this view. If you're watching on YouTube right now, we have we're on the 16th floor right now.
Yeah, this view is insane.
It's spectacular. I don't know where we're going. We don't have all the answers. But it's definitely something that I want to continue to have the conversation about. And yeah, I forget sometimes that we are in like a tech media bubble being in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
Like, even coming out here, I was looking outside the window. I'm like, oh, where's all this restaurants? Where's all like, because we're in the city, like we're on the outskirts of the city, but there's always like streets filled and trees everywhere. And this one was just like, where's all the buildings at? I was like lost. But even coming out here, I'm like, oh, I'd much rather have the opportunity to come to a conference in person.
Totally.
Than be on a 4-day Zoom call.
No doubt.
And it's just like, we're meeting all these people. It's super cool to see. And we all want to be here. So it's like, it's super cool seeing how people want to interact with each other too. So
yeah, absolutely. For the sake of time, because we have to break out, we have another session meeting coming in like 10 or 15 minutes. I wanted to flip it on you really quick. Do you have any questions for me before we jump off? If you don't, that's completely fine. Just I've been asking people at the end of the episode.
I know. I don't have time to think about that, but let's see. I guess let me hear more about your like SAC experience and school experience with like what you guys are struggling with too. Because now that we're here at this conference, we're building those connections to see how we can be better leaders for our groups, but how we can come together and just like lead together, I guess.
So ours is honestly, it's getting a lot better. And
That's
we've
good.
been able to. We've had a lot of continuity between. I came to Dominican as a sophomore, so we had a good president who was from the soccer team, Strong Foundation. He passed it on to his vice president Gina, and she was, former guest on the podcast. Actually, she's on the tennis team. So then we passed it to her, and then I was her VP, and then I stepped into president role. So we've had this nice line of succession. Where each year we've kind of built and gotten better. I would say my number one initiative when I stepped in was, how can we continue to build connections across the sports? So can we have softball players come and support basketball games? Can we have the tennis players go in and support golf? Can we have volleyball show up for soccer? Just having each of the teams go out and support each other. And something we've always had has been called Penguin Partners, where each team is paired up, and throughout the course of the season they do things for each other. They try to show up each other's games, things like that. But I also wanted to get just more community and more buy-in with all the sports.
What are some of the things you do to bring the community together?
Yeah, so some of the events we do, like Midnight Mayhem, we do that one in the winter. We do a bunch of fundraisers.
Is that just like basketball pep rally, I'm guessing?
Basketball pep rally, and then each team has a dance or a skit that they perform. And then
outside of the season?
No,
or
it's on the
just
evening.
Basketball?
No, every single sports team
Okay, gotcha.
performs a skit, and they're judged, and there's a winner, and they get the Emperor Penguin, and it's like a super fun event. Another thing we did at the beginning of the year called the Penguin Palooza, just a classic get-together field day type thing. Had food, snacks, and things for everyone. That was like a kickoff event. In the spring, we'll do like a spring fling type thing. We'll do a dodgeball tournament. And then throughout the year, we also have, canned food drive. We did the Christmas tree fundraiser. We did an adopt a family fundraiser. So a lot of community engagement, a lot of campus engagement. But it's also sending surveys out to the campus too, and asking them, what do you guys want to see? How can we continue to bring this together more?
Yeah.
And it's one conversation at a time. It's just getting the buy-in, like one person at a time. And we're on the path. We're getting better, and I got one more semester. It's like we're already wrapping up this first semester, so I got one more semester of leadership, fast. And then I'm passing it on to my vice president or someone else within the e-board. So, yeah, dude, SAC is all. It's been a great, just a leadership experience, being able to lead a group, lead a team. I've really enjoyed it.
And I mentioned seeing people's growth too. What's one of your favorite things noticing, all of SAC or your team? I guess that'll be my last question.
I like that. I would say the growth of my e-board. Specifically because they're all the committee leads, seeing them step into their own over the course of this semester. At first, I was checking in with them a lot. I was kind of hovering over them, but now I can, for the most part, step back a little bit, and they're I'll check in every week or so, but they're running events. They're handling the communication in the group chats. I'm able to just kind of observe and float as opposed to hover over now. So being able to see that growth within the e-board is great, because that is the trickle down, because they're the ones that are communicating to their committees. And I think that's kind of where we start. And I think that can only get better.
Yeah. I haven't even thought about that. Even looking now back at my e-board and seeing their growth, I'm like, whoa, it's literally the same thing. You're starting at the early stages of the leadership process, and it was oh, I don't know how to run this, and then you're still learning all these things, and then all of a sudden something just clicks, and then other people want to lead, so then we give them opportunities to lead, and it's just wow, that really just sets the whole thing up to really promote athletics and our well-being. So I think
it's a leadership snowball.
Yeah, it is. Dude, that's so sick.
Dude, that's all I have for us today. Quick episode. It's great to be able to chat with another SAC leader here at this Dallas conference. It was just really cool. We got to do this recording at the top of the 16th floor. We got this awesome view. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. This is episode number 68. I really enjoyed the time, Brayden. I appreciate being able to talk with you a little bit more in depth.
Yep. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. The number one way to grow a podcast is through sharing it. So if anything from today's episode you found beneficial, please remember to send that out to families, friends, loved ones. It would mean the world to me as I continue to bring these conversations out and keep spreading a positive message. So thank you so much, and I'll be back here next time.
Thank you.